where we adopt various school and train the students on diabetes prevention. So welcome you, sir. And now I request you to kindly introduce Dr. Dharmendra Jain or Dr. Amit Srivastava and invite them for their panel discussion. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, dear. Uh, well, the topic for the day is heart failure, and there are the two views. One is physician's view, and the other is cardiothoracic surgeon's view. So we have two eminent doctors. One, Dr. Dharmendra Jain, who is MD DM and is professor and head Department of Cardiology, IMS BHU, and he he has done his interventional cardiology from Max Heart and Vascular Institute, New Delhi. He is life member of CSI, API, Indian Society of Electrocardiography, Indian Academy of Echocardiography, Indian Society of Cardiology, Indian Medical Association, Indian College of Cardiology, American College of Cardiology. And he has given outstanding services at Max Healthcare. So I'll request, should I introduce both of them together or it has to be separate?
Sir, please introduce both the speakers.
Right. So next speaker is Dr. Amit Srivastava. Can I have his resume? Dr. Amit Srivastava is MCH. I know him very well. He is in Apex Hospital, senior consultant and cardiac surgeon. Dr. Amit Srivastava is MS MCH CVTS, senior consultant cardiac surgeon at Apex Hospital, Varanasi, having a 15 years experience in the field of cardiothoracic and vascular disease. Award. He has been awarded life member of AICTS, member of ESC, Council on Valvular Heart Disease, founder of Updates and Cardiac Care, annual conference in field of advances in field of cardiac science, 19 publication in peer review journals, and sub-investigator in various clinical trials conducted by MNCs and Indian pharmaceuticals. A brief introduction to the subject, as we all have come across or come across daily with the heart failure sort of picture. It may be in the CVD patients also and non-ACVD patients. So tackling this problem is a big challenge, and still we are groping in the dark to find an exact drug to have a control over this problem. But then we are quite near to our target, and to hear from horse's mouth, let us have the first talk from Dharmendra Jain, sir.
So before this, sorry to interrupt you. We have one more moderator, Dr. Vivekanand from Gillespie Hospital. So welcome you sir. So he will also be sharing his view on this topic. So welcome you, sir. So now, Dr. Dharmendra, sir, you can start the session.
Thanks the organizer, Ashutosh and Pallavi and the team. And thanks Dr. Rajiv for introducing me and my co-speaker. And today we are going, can I share my screen?
Yes, sir, you can share.
Yes.
So we are going to discuss very important topic in a post-MI patient. Patient is going in heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, and how we can optimize this guideline directed medical therapy. So this is the need of the hour. As a physician, we should think of optimizing this therapy in each and every visit when the patient is having when we have an opportunity to interact with the patient. In the first hospitalization itself, we can start guideline directed medical therapy, and the follow-up we should ensure that patient is sticking, and we should adjust the doses according to guidelines so that we can optimize therapy which is recommended. So from MI to heart failure, we can see that it starts with the risk factors of hypertension, dyslipidemia, and the insulin resistance and smoking that produces endothelial dysfunction, atherosclerosis, CAD, and then ischemia, angina, thrombosis, and finally MI. So MI then again has its own post-MI complications like arrhythmia, loss of muscles, cardiac remodeling. That is the most important thing which we are going to discuss, that how to stop, reverse this remodeling. Then there is after remodeling, there is a dilatation of ventricles, congestive heart failure, and end-stage heart disease. And see, so how we can stop it and how we can reverse this in a post-MI situation. So with progression of CAD leading to MI, there is loss of myocardium, we all know. And that leads to this remodeling, and that business causes the ventricular dilatation, hypertrophy, formation of discrete collagen scar, and that leads to heart failure. So in heart failure, HFrEF, heart failure with reduced ejection fraction in post-MI, when there is a reduced ejection fraction is there, these guidelines of ESC, ACTS says that if there is a multi-vessel disease along with this dysfunction, LV dysfunction, then CABG is the choice which can give the benefits to such patients. And though the current guidelines for management of chronic coronary syndrome and heart failure stresses the importance of guideline-directed medical therapy in the treatment of patients with MI and heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, current studies indicate that still there is a very lower usage of GDMT following revascularization. So onus comes to us as to optimize this GDMT and make it give the maximum benefit of this therapy, which the guideline says. So in management of heart failure with reduced ejection fraction in post-MI patients, important questions are: what is the impact of MI on heart failure with reduced ejection fraction? And can this HFrEF in post-MI patients be managed with revascularization alone, or we need to give some medical therapy post-MI, post-revascularization? And it is GDMT for this HFrEF needed for post-revascularization? So this is the question which we will discuss in various studies. So we were having a cardiologist point of view, me discussing as a cardiologist clinical impact of this HFrEF in patients with post-MI, and cardiac remodeling in HFrEF patients due to MI, and role of this sacubitril valsartan in cardiac remodeling in HFrEF patients post-MI. And then there will be a CVTS point of view, which is Dr. Amit is going to discuss, that management of HFrEF patients undergoing revascularization post-MI, and then role of earning in HFrEF patients post-MI. So for cardiologist point of view, we are going to discuss HFrEF patients post-MI. Heart failure and MI, complicating this acute MI is a common and may be present at admission or during hospitalization it may develop. So among patients with acute MI, heart failure is the most powerful predictor of death and has important implications for treatment also. And optimal management of the patient with heart failure complicating MI varies according to the time since the onset of infarction. Patients with MI are at high risk of developing heart failure as the years go by. We can see that incidence of heart failure among patients hospitalized for MI varies from 14 to 36%. And on admission, heart failure on admission increases the odds of in-hospital mortality by 2.2 times in patients with MI. And 64% of post-MI patients developed heart failure within 1 year and 71% in 5 years. So how to check this development of heart failure? By giving this GDMT we are going to discuss. And you can see here that burden of heart failure post-MI in India, where the prevalence of heart failure is around 8 to 10 million. And approximately 21 million Indians above the age of 19 are likely to have this history of MI. And 10 to 40% of individuals with MI develop the heart failure. And heart failure burden due to MI in India would be around 2.1 million to 8.4 million, average 4 to 5 million. So a huge impact is there and huge scope is there to improve this and prevent this heart failure post-MI. So MI is a major cause of heart failure in India. So it is in proportion, it is around 42% patients are having MI as a cause of heart failure. So it is the most common cause worldwide also. And clinical outcomes of HFrEF post MI, we can see that in SALT trial also the HFrEF patients with post MI compared to patients without MI, they have, if the HFrEF is there with MI, then twofold higher rate of heart failure hospitalization is there, and 4 times higher rate of mortality is there in SALT trial. And similarly, in SAVE trial, patient with LV systolic dysfunction due to prior MI compared to without prior MI, they have 70% increased risk of CV death and LV enlargement if prior MI is there. So cardiac remodeling in HFrEF patients post MI. So we have already discussed that after MI there is a cardiac remodeling which causes a dilatation, CHF, and end-stage heart disease. And with progression of MI, there is a loss of myocardium and ultimately heart failure. So change in remodeling parameters increases the risk of CV death and heart failure hospitalization. Every 10% decrease in the LVEF may be associated with the 45% increase in CV death or chronic heart failure hospitalization, or 57% increase of the CV death. Similarly, LVEDV 10 ml per ml square, if it is increases, then there is a chance of 9% death or heart failure hospitalization increases. And similarly, LVESV, if it increases by 10 ml square, then the death or heart failure hospitalization increases by 15%. So can we achieve the beneficial reverse remodeling in the HFrEF patients post MI through medical therapy alone? So this is the question. And the majority of heart failure drug classes can improve cardiac remodeling by reducing the cardiac hypertrophy. So answer is yes, we can improve this, reverse the remodeling by various therapies available. And we can see that the therapy with optimal medical therapy induces beneficial reverse remodeling. ACE inhibitor and ARB improve the EF between 1 to 4%. Beta blockers improve by 4 to 12%. MRAs also generally improve EF by 4%. So all are beneficial and have reverse remodeling effects. Despite timely use of these therapies, 30% of HFrEF patients post-MI still go cardiac remodeling. So there is a chance to do something. And this is the paradigm shift in heart failure that this early sacubital valsartan came, and it has an impact on preventing the remodeling and reversing it towards normal by affecting the neprilysin and the affecting the rest both simultaneously. So it has effects on all the levels, including the decreasing the BP, decreasing sympathetic tone, increasing natriuresis, decreasing vasopressin, aldosterone, fibrosis, and hypertrophy ultimately. And similarly, angiotensin 2 to 81 inhibition that also prevented by inhibiting this by ARB. So both the things are there. We are having beneficial effects by vasodilation and the effect on prevention of vasoconstriction, both simultaneously affecting this in combination of sacubital valsartan, and it improves the cardiac remodeling by inhibiting the myocardial cell death and hypertrophy. So proposed mechanism is there that it decreases myocardial contractility, decreases myocardial death, and it also decreases myocyte hypertrophy and LV extracellular matrix remodeling by combination of sacubital and valsartan. And beneficial reverse remodeling with this combination of Ernie has demonstrated in multiple studies in patients with HFrEF. And the number of patients enrolled were 661, and the study period was 3 to 12 months, including ICD or CRT therapy was used in 45% of patients. And we can see the reversal of cardiac remodeling and improvement of EF and decrease in LVESV and decrease in LVESV. Shape and function of the valve, decrease in the mitral regurgitation also, which is functional MR, which is there in these patients with dilatation of LV with triggering of the mitral valve apparatus, and LV diastolic function also improved. So sacubitril valsartan reverses the cardiac remodeling and improve the cardiac structure and pumping in HFrEF patients. Improve HF study. This combination improves the key echo measures of cardiac remodeling and increases the EF. And there is consistent results across all the subgroups, including ACRV naive patients or newly diagnosed patients. So we can see that the EF was improved and EDB, ESB reduced. So like that, benefits were there in all the parameters. This sacubitril valsartan significantly improved the EF in hospital patients, while in comparison to ACE inhibitor, which has shown no benefit in hospital patients in this study. And ARNI also improved the echo parameters in hospital patients. So patient treated with this ARNI shows improvement in echo parameters compared to ACE ARB group. Improvement like decrease in EDV or decrease in ESV. And the LA volume also decreased, and EY/AS ratio was the risk of death and 44% reduction in risk of heart failure rehospitalization with ARNI in hospital patients compared to enalapril was there, and 46% reduction in the risk of composite serious clinical events with ARNI in hospital patients compared to enalapril. So to summarize, friends, heart failure burden due to MI in India would be 2.1 million to 8.4 million. Estimate is around 4 to 5 million, and heart failure on admission doubles the odds of in-hospital mortality in MI patients. And 30% of MI patients undergo cardiac remodeling despite use of PCI and heart failure therapy, which we were using before this molecule of ARNI. And this ARNI shows the significant improvement in echo parameters in hospital patients, and also shows the reduction in risk of death and heart failure hospitalization in hospital patients. So by this, I will hand over the session for the CBTS point of view to Dr. Amit.
Good evening, panelists, and greetings from my side.